Hi guys, welcome to the latest Hither green in O gauge update, also known as Project Channel. If you recall, the last video was about securing the track. That is now done on this board. So 1, 2 and 3 roads are secured, as well as the 2 sidings, and they're also secured all the way to the far end. The roads that have not yet been completed are the 3 pit roads, on the basis that I still have to make the pits. So that was where we finished off on the last video, but now with all the track. And today's video is going to be about wiring of the track and the point motors. What I purchased previously for my other layouts, which I'm also using on this one, is copper tape. I purchased this off eBay. It was a long reel leather stuff, self-adhesive, and I use that for my DCC bus. For some reason on older layouts it was always said that you stuck the tape down on top of the board so you could solder all the droppers onto it. But what I do is I put the tape underneath the board and drop wires down through the board and then solder it underneath. Okay, I'm working upside down with hot solder, but what it enables me to do is, if I need to reattach wires or add more wires, I can still do so. And I also run a bus for auxiliaries, so I'll run a bus that I can connect yard lighting, depot lighting and any other effects that requires a standard 12 volt supply. So that's where we are today. So like I say, today's video will be about the wiring up of the droppers that we've already connected and the switching of the polarities on the point frogs. So we go for a little trip up the yard.
Welcome to the underground. Please mind the gap between the platform and the train. No, not really. Where we are now is underneath Hither green, in the subterranean bowels of the layout. There's not a lot down here, there doesn't need to be. What we have is all the tails from the track that I soldered to the rails before securing the track pedals down, and I have run my 2 copper strips along the baseboards. What I did with the tails before putting the track down was ensuring that all the reds and the blacks were on the same side of each track panel. That makes life easier when wiring everything up. And what I will do is all the red wires I will solder to this piece of tape, and all the black wires to this piece of tape, and that's it. And that's the same all the way up the boards, all the tracks. These would just be twisted together and run across to there, and him to there, and him. I also have under here the green switch wires for the frogs of each set of points, and my DCC Concepts Cobalt IP point motors. So all I will do with these is drop a red and a black wire to the first 2 terminals, red and black. It's all written on the bottom of the point motor here, what terminal is what, and then from over here I believe it's the 3rd wire, sorry, the 3rd terminal is where the point frog goes. And that is it. That is pretty much the entire track wiring of this layout in DCC with digital point motors. So what I'll do is I'll get a few bits ready and I'll take you through one of the applications of the wires and then I'll carry on and do the rest off screen, so I'll be back in a second. Okay, we're back. The first thing to do is to prevent myself from burning myself, at least endeavour to anyway, because I'm working upside down, is I'm going to work from left to right. The first thing I need to do and get in place is 2 droppers on the end for my plug to plug my bus into the next end. And as I can't find my fiberglass pen, I have raided the kitchen and pinched a piece of scouring pad, and I will use that to pre-clean any dirt off of the bus. So the first thing, as I've done previously when soldering, is to tin where you want to solder, which is basically a small coating of solder on the part you are soldering. So having cleaned the tip, which I'll just put a small spot of solder on the bus. So we have a blob of solder on the bus, and my 2 wires, which I will be using for the droppers, which are here somewhere beside me. I have already tinned the ends, so they've got solder on them also. So first off, the rear wire, which is black. Trying to get the solder lines through the wires here. So literally hold the 2 together, and hopefully that's it. There we go. Yep. And stick that up inside with the red wire. Because everything is tinned with solder and there's a blob of solder, not too big, on the bus, I don't have to add more solder to it to make a good joint. I just got to hold it together and, without burning myself, mount the 2 parts together and wait for it to cool. So there we go. So that's the 2 wires for my plug. The next 2 wires, which I have not yet got ready, is for the point motor. So we'll just drop 2 of those on. So, scouring pad. I've got to put another point motor here as well. So what I shall do is I'll put another 2 sets of droppers on the board. 1 for each set of points. So I'll put 1 here. So 1 blob on there. And 1 blob on there for 1 point. And just a bit of space. Blob on there. And a blob on there. So that's tinned. And what I have done on the floor is put anything down to catch any drips of solder. I don't want to be burning myself or the carpet. So I'll just tin and fit on these 2 wires and then I'll be back. So what I now have soldered to the board is 1 pair of wires. Oh, it's all a jumbled mess. So to make life easier, what I now do is just twist them together, each pair of wires, to keep them tight, to keep them tidy. You've got to admit, that is a lot easier to see, so I'll just carry on with that one. So that is 1 point motor wires. Twist this pair together. A lot easier if there was more room under here, but you know, with the camera tripod and the lights I can see what I'm doing and everything else, it does make it a bit cramped and arm's length. But there we go, that makes that easier to see. So now you have one plug wire to go to the next board, 1 point motor, other point motor. So now the next one to do is this pair of droppers here. Because these are already fixed at the end, it's easier to do before we solder it on. Let's just twist up the pair, say, right, that is long enough. And we're just going to snip them off about that long. Where's my cutters? Can't reach. Oh, too far away. Snip off. Strip back with the square end of the cutters. Twist the ends together neatly. And now I've got the ends, I will tin those with the solder, so clean the tip, the soldering iron. And as simple as that, all shaky hands. Watching out for the blobs of solder to drip off. These two wires are going to go here and here. So again, with the clean tip of the soldering iron so we don't have too much solder on there to drip on me. Little solder pad there. Solder pad there. So black wire on first because it's at the back. That and the front wire. Job done. So neat little loop, everything's all tidy, so I'll just do the others and I'll come back to you. All exactly the same. So there we have it. All three of my droppers, my 3 lines on this part of the board, are now linked to the bus with all the red wires together and all the black wires on the black runner. So all I have to do now is connect my point motors. I'm going to have to move around a little bit here so that I've got a bit more room, and I will demonstrate the connectivity of the points and how easy that is as well. So back in a second. Okay, the DCC Concepts IP Cobalt point motors is already sorted for digital operation. You basically have this terminal here is for your frog polarity and your 2 DCC inputs of the track. As you'll see from the DCC buzz, I have a red on the right and black on the left. So when it comes to these two here, I'll put the black in the left and the red in the right. And even if the point motor was the other way around, out of the 2 holes in relation to the bus, I would put the black
in the left and the red in the right. Never had any issues with points going the wrong way or polarity being back to front doing it that way. And basically all you have is you push these up with a screwdriver, push in the wire, and job's done. So what I'll do is I'll go and grab the screwdriver, which I can't find laying here upside down. Okay, so the frog wire first, because it's at the back and in the way of the other two. It's the third hole, which is this one here. So you literally just push up the third little clamp, push in the wire, let go, and that's it. That is how you wire up the Cobalt motor. So we'll do the same with these two wires. So that this is so awkward. I'm going to trim these two wires and come back to us because I can't move in here at the minute. Okay, so I've trimmed the wires a bit. So on the right is the black, and on the left is the red. Wobbly. The wire's a bit thin, so I just want to trim that back a little bit more. Because I'm doing everything at arm's length, I'll cut too many of the strands off the wire, so we'll just be careful. I'll put the black wire out, I think that would happen. So sorry, we'll just twist them back together again. Fold the end over to give a bit of wire volume. I'm not using very thick wire here. This is so awkward at this angle. It'll be so much easier without the camera because you're right in the way. So there we go, right. So we'll do that again. Now I've lost my screwdriver, it's rolled underneath me. So black wire in there. And a red wire. In there. That's it. So that motor is now all connected up. So for the rest of the layout, that is all we have to do, is the 3 wires to the point motor and the black and red wires. I'll come back to you when I've finished all the rest, because you won't need to see me do it all. Okay, so that will do. All my wires are twisted together in a pair. Reds on this wire, reds on this wire all the way through, and black on the other wire. And that's it. That is simple wiring, nothing too technical. And all I've got to do now is mount another point motor there for that set of points, a bridging wire through here to this board, and then wire up that board, but I can't do that at the minute because I've got all my stuff underneath. So I will leave you with that, and I'll catch you next time.